I think they look at the competitive position for the first time in many years, and they see a genuine opportunity to really dominate British football and even European football.
Liverpool in 2026 are not normal. That's the simplest way to put it. What we're watching unfold at Anfield is not just another strong side, not just another transfer window of big names and headlines. It's something far more deliberate, far more calculated. This is a squad being engineered not simply to compete, not even just to win, but to dominate. And dominance in football doesn't happen by accident. It happens when history, identity, tactics, and recruitment align. It happens when the stars of the present are balanced with the architects of the future. It happens when a club decides not to rebuild, but to refine. Liverpool, in the summer of 2026, broke the British transfer record not once but twice.
Alexander Isak is Liverpool's new number 9. They've confirmed it officially now. He has signed in a British record transfer of £125 million, and he has signed a 6-year contract with Liverpool.
Florian Wirtz, one of the most electrifying playmakers of his generation, arrived for £116 million early in the window. And then, on the final day of the market, Alexander Isak followed for £125 million, the most expensive signing in Premier League history. As if that wasn't enough, the club also added Hugo Ekitike, Milos Kerkez, Jeremie Frimpong, and Giovanni Leone to complete a window that shook European football to its core. But this isn't just about numbers or price tags. It's about the way each of these players fits into a structure, into a philosophy, into an era that Arne Slot is carefully crafting. Liverpool are not building for a single season. They are building for legacy. So let's break it down. Let's see how this Liverpool side is transforming from champions into something far scarier, a dynasty. The summer of 2026 will be remembered as a watershed moment in Liverpool's modern history. When Jurgen Klopp stepped away from the touchline, there was a fear, perhaps even an expectation, that the club might fade. After all, Klopp was not just a coach, he was an identity. He turned gegenpressing into religion at Anfield, gave Liverpool a Premier League title, and made the impossible feel inevitable. But what Arne Slot has done is fascinating. He hasn't torn up Klopp's blueprint, he's evolved it. He's taken the intensity, the aggression, and the high-pressing DNA, but applied a colder, more controlled edge. Where Klopp thrived on chaos, Slot thrives on orchestration. And his transfer policy reflects that shift. Breaking the transfer record twice in the same summer isn't just about flexing financial power. It's about making a statement. Liverpool are no longer content with being challengers. They want to be rulers. Wirtz, Isak, Ekitike, Kerkez, Frimpong, Leone, every single one of them was chosen not for reputation alone, but for how they complete the puzzle. It's a philosophy borrowed from Liverpool's own past. The attack, a new front three. If Liverpool's transfer window grabbed the headlines, the front three has stolen the fear. Salah, Isak, Ekitike. On paper, it looks devastating. On the pitch, it looks even worse for opponents. Mohamed Salah, now 33, has defied every conventional law of aging forwards. Last season, he recorded 47 goal involvements in the Premier League, 29 goals and 18 assists. To put that into context, he matched records set by Alan Shearer and Andy Cole, but did so in a 38-game season rather than 42. He promised Slot that if he was given freedom in attack, he would deliver another title. Slot trusted him, removed some of the defensive workload, and Salah kept his word. His evolution is striking. Under Klopp, Salah was relentless but often wide, tasked with stretching the pitch and covering ground. Under Slot, he operates higher, narrower, and far deadlier. He conserves energy for the moments that matter most, drifting into half spaces where he can combine with Wirtz or finish attacks himself. He is not just Liverpool's star. He is the crown jewel, the reference point around which everything else rotates. Beside him is Alexander Isak, the £125 million striker who brings something Liverpool have not had since Fernando Torres, a complete number 9 in his prime. At Newcastle, Isak was already among the Premier League's deadliest finishers. 52 goals across 2 seasons, including a run of 8 consecutive league matches scored in, a record that eclipsed Alan Shearer himself. His numbers were extraordinary. A shot conversion rate above both Haaland and Salah, an ability to create as well as finish, and movement patterns that caused nightmares for defenders. Isak is not static. He drags centre-backs out of position, drops deep to link play, sprints in behind, and then punishes you with clinical one-touch finishes. What makes his arrival so significant is not just the goals he guarantees, but the balance he restores. Liverpool no longer rely on one talisman. With Salah still peaking, Wirtz creating, and Ekitike developing, Isak becomes the apex predator in a system already loaded with creativity. And then there's Hugo Ekitike, the chaos creator. Young, fearless, unpredictable, and already adored by the Kop. Ekitike's story is fascinating. At Frankfurt, he sometimes looked erratic, underperforming his expected goals. Yet when you isolate the chances that truly matter, those high-value, big-game moments, his record is astonishing. He thrives under pressure. He doesn't wait for service, he manufactures it. He dribbles, presses, carries the ball, and at 1.90 meters tall, he combines physical presence with creative flair. Ekitike is not here to sit on the bench. He is here to learn alongside Salah and Isak, to rotate, to adapt, and eventually to inherit. He is both the present and the future. And that's what makes this front three so terrifying. It's not just about today's goals. It's about tomorrow's inevitability. Midfield, the engine redefined. For much of Liverpool's recent history, the midfield has been about intensity rather than artistry. Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner, warriors who provided the platform for others to shine. But in 2026, that equation has flipped. Florian Wirtz, the £116 million signing, represents a generational shift. He is not just a playmaker, he is an inventor. He receives the ball on the half-turn, threads passes that shouldn't exist, and breaks defensive lines almost at will. Already, he looks more comfortable with each passing week, and it's clear why Liverpool spent so heavily. Wirtz is the player who can transform dominance into inevitability, possession into penetration. Around him, the pieces are equally dangerous. Dominik Szoboszlai has blossomed into one of the league's most complete midfielders, balancing tireless pressing with technical brilliance. Ryan Gravenberch provides power and versatility, able to play deeper or burst forward with devastating runs. Alexis Mac Allister is the conductor, dictating rhythm with intelligence and calm. Together, this quartet doesn't just control games. They tilt them. Every one of them is capable of scoring, assisting, or breaking through lines. And crucially, they have depth behind them. Wataru Endo for stability, Curtis Jones for intensity, and even Cody Gakpo, who drifts between lines to provide tactical flexibility. This midfield is not merely functional. It is aggressive. It is designed to hurt you from every angle. For Liverpool fans accustomed to graft in the middle of the pitch, this feels new, almost luxurious. But it is precisely what Slot envisioned, a midfield that doesn't just support the attack, it becomes the attack. At the back, Liverpool have blended continuity with renewal. Alisson Becker remains the foundation. Still the best goalkeeper in the league, still the calm presence in chaos, still the one man who can rescue points with a fingertip save. His reflexes, distribution, and composure remain unmatched. Ahead of him stands Virgil van Dijk. At 35, he may not be the force of nature he once was, but his intelligence, positioning, and leadership still make him invaluable. He rarely dives in. He reads the game, organizes those around him, and ensures the line never collapses. His role now extends beyond defending. He is the mentor, passing wisdom to the next generation. That next generation is embodied by Giovanni Leone, the young Italian centre-back who already looks destined for greatness. Tall, composed, dominant in duels, and comfortable on the ball, Leone is being groomed as Van Dijk's heir. Together, they provide the balance of experience and youth, of authority and potential. On the flanks, Liverpool have reinvented themselves. Jeremie Frimpong brings relentless energy on the right, stretching opponents and providing width in ways that even Trent Alexander-Arnold once did. On the left, Milos Kerkez, though still raw, has already shown glimpses of brilliance, particularly in shutting down elite wingers. Their arrivals mark a shift from reliance on overlapping creativity to fullbacks who offer intensity, pressing, and direct threat. Even Ibrahim Konate, though inconsistent, adds physical presence and depth. When focused, he remains one of the most intimidating defenders in Europe. The result is a defensive unit that is not just about resilience. It is about transition. These defenders are not passive protectors. They are active participants in Liverpool's system, ensuring that every regain of possession becomes the launchpad for another wave of attack. Slot's evolution. Arne Slot's Liverpool is not Klopp's Liverpool. The DNA is similar: high pressing, verticality, relentlessness, but the expression is different. Where Klopp embraced chaos, Slot thrives on structure. His preferred 4-3-3 can morph into a 4-2-3-1 or even a narrow 4-4-2 depending on the opponent. The principle is always the same: control transitions, dominate half spaces, and ensure pressing is coordinated rather than improvised. In this system, Isak is the fixed reference point, the striker whose movements between the posts provide structure. Salah cuts in from the right, Wirtz operates as the orchestrator in central pockets, and Ekitike or Gakpo rotate from the left depending on the opponent. Against deep blocks, Ekitike is unleashed wide to collapse defenses and create chaos. Against high lines, Gakpo's circulation and ball retention become vital. Depth allows Slot to rotate without losing identity, a luxury that ensures Liverpool can sustain their intensity across 60 matches in 4 competitions. The brilliance of this approach is its modularity. Every player can be swapped without altering the system's DNA. That's how dynasties are built. Depth isn't just cover, it's continuation, legacy, and dynasty. Liverpool have been here before. In the 70s and 80s, they were relentless, league champions almost every season, European Cup winners time and again. They built an empire of inevitability, one that endured for over a decade. Jurgen Klopp gave Liverpool its first taste of that inevitability again in 2020. Arne Slot has now taken the baton and looks determined to run further. What makes this 2026 squad different is that it feels designed not just to win, but to last. Salah, though in his 30s, remains at his peak. Isak and Wirtz are entering their primes. Ekitike, Leone, Kerkez, all are young enough to grow into world-class pillars. The foundations are there for not just one title, but several. This is not just about chasing silverware. It is about constructing dominance. It is about ensuring that when the story of European football in the late 2020s is written, Liverpool are at the center of it, not as challengers, but as rulers. So here's the truth. Liverpool in 2026 are not just strong. They are terrifying. From the record-breaking transfers to the evolution of Salah, from the complete midfield to the reforged defense, from Slot's tactical intelligence to the depth of talent waiting on the bench, every detail of this squad screams inevitability. Anfield has seen greatness before, but this feels different. This feels engineered. This feels like the beginning of a new dynasty. Liverpool are not just building a team. They are building an era, and the rest of Europe will have to find a way to survive it.
He's grabbed his second.